Hello and welcome everyone. Okay, and we are here for the new season. I'm just trying to see if the link has been posted yet, as I'm not currently seeing anything on my side at the moment. Okay, and so our first few people are on track. Let me quickly get everything ready here on my side. Tires that everyone's using. Lap data. Okay, and so our first person is going on for his first flying lap, Mr. Luke, and first sector is a 16.3. Turn 3, looking quite nice. Now, I did some research on Luke, which he actually looked like he had some decent pace last season with 2 fourth place finishes, and his worst result only being a 14th. Very consistent last season, but I think he can do a lot better if he stops making mistakes. And Luke going for a great lap, looking tidy so far into the last turn 9. Is he going to use all the track limits? And he's using everything he can. Run down to the line, a 105.0. Not a bad lap. Not a bad lap. I think if we want to go at pole, we would have to go around a 104.4. And Mike with going up into second. What a lap from Mike. And I can't wait to see him race this season. I've got big expectations for Mike. Heinrich going up into third place with these medium tires. Not a bad lap for him on the medium tires. O'Leary going up into second. What a lap. And then we've got Major going into sixth. Swen all the way into first place. Tichy going into the second sector, the double left-hander. Is he going to use all the track limits? It looks like he's going for it. This is looking like a decent lap from Tichy. Oh, you could have used a little bit more track on the last 2 corners. Down to the line, what's it going to be? And he goes up into 5th with that lap. Mighty Chump, I think, might have made a mistake. He does seem to have slowed down a little bit. So then Tidler's... and he loses the rear end on the final corner. Not the place that you want to be losing it. All your hard work is basically undone through that mistake. Now going to Boomer, which I've got my eyes on since he's come down from Tier 1. He had some great results in Tier 1, and I believe he will be one of the guys to watch, one of the dark horses for the season. What a great turn fall from Boomer. Let's see what he can do to the two double left-handers. I do have to say that I've seen some of the cars rear end move a lot more than than other cars. I think that might be setup preference, but I think it might be setup preference. And as Boomer comes to the line, definitely top 3. I said I've got my eyes on him. I think he will be someone to watch during the season. Mighty Chump coming to the end of his lap. What will he be able to do? As long as you don't invalidate it this late in the lap. And he might have invalidated Oswaldo. Also, final 2 corners. Can he improve on his Red Bull teammate and prevent any invalidations? It's only a 1079. I think there's a lot more pace from Oswaldo. Will the game? I don't have much experience racing with him, but I have seen some promising stuff from him. And I think that he might have to get back into the pits. He's already done his lap. He will have to refuel, get the battery charged up, and come back out again. Now, Igor has already done a lap as well. This is actually quite a... So Igor, I believe he also came from Tier 1 or Tier 2 last season, and coming down to Tier 3. Actually, from previous experiences, Igor is one of the guys I really admire within the league. Really a great driver. Yeah, so Igor only raced 1 race last season with a P8 in Tier 2. So I think, if you look at him, I think he will be a definite podium contender this season. So here we have the Haas trying to Mr. Luke going for another lap. He did the first lap of the season in Tier 3, going through the final 2 corners. Once again, going down into 6th, 4th. Not using as much track as the first time. Will it be an improvement? And he goes up into 3rd. What a lap. What a lap. O'Leary also on another lap. As we quickly look at the Mercedes driver. What can he do? Very consistent driver. From all the races he did last season, he only finished outside the points once. And he didn't improve. O'Leary is a very consistent driver, but consistency might not win him those races. Mike coming to the line for his lap. Will that be an improvement? Nothing as of yet. Another harsh driver going through the 2nd sector. He's got a 1.5 improvement currently. He's using as much track as possible. What's this going to be for the Haas driver? Run down to the line. And he goes up into 6th. What a lap. I have to say, this grid actually looks much closer than what I thought it would be. As we have Major is currently not on a lap. I think he might be doing a double warm-up lap. What will this be from Major? As we have Abmo going into 5th place. What a lap from the Williams driver. Also a very good driver in terms of quali pace. I just think he needs to work on his race pace a little bit more. Now, first corner for Major. As he went into the pits, yet it didn't look like it. As everyone's coming into the pits currently from the looks of it. Okay, so we have Nivi here. Nivi is someone that joined ALR last season. At the end of last season, actually, he did the final race with us in Saudi Arabia, also Tier 3. And I have to say, this guy has got some mega pace. So in the Saudi race last season, he got P2, which was his first race of the season in ALR. I really think he might be a championship contender for this season. Really getting loose on that rear end. What will this lap be? It's P2. There's half a tenth between pole position and P2 at the moment. Eagle's also running for another lap. What can Eagle do? Come on, Eagle. Let's see if you can put it on pole. Use all that track. Oh, that's on the limits. You can just see by the way his car's drifting wide that he's using every bit of track that he can as he climbs the curbs. Just gives you a better turn in into the final 2 corners. Down into 6. Interesting choice for gears in the final corner. What will this be? And Eagle goes on to pole. 200ths in front of Sven. What a lap from Eagle. As Sven is trying to fight back. What will Sven be able to do? What can he do? I think the AlphaTauri driver might have another 10th in this. And he's currently 200ths up on his time. He's not finding the pace at the moment. Can he find the pace on the final 2 corners? 6th gear. Down into 5th. Using all the track possible. What a lap from Sven! And Sven just boxes back against Eagle. And he's like, anything you can do, I can do better. Come on. Bring it on. As Boomer goes back into the pits. Now as we run on board with Twenich, I hope that's how you spell it, how you say it, how you pronounce it, whatever you want. Let's see what the Haas driver can do. That's a great exit onto turn 3. He runs down to turn 4. Is he going to use as much curb on the entry? Not quite. Going to run it. Not using as much track as possible. I think he might be looking at a top 6 if this lap does get hooked up though. It's another 10th improvement. Currently that would put him in 6th place. As he backs out of it, did he invalidate it? I think he might have invalidated his lap. As Tichy in the Aston Martin goes into turn 4. So far no problems for Tichy. Another driver that was also very consistent last year. I think in the midfield fight he might be one to look out for. Come on, Tichy. He goes down 2 gears into the second to last corner. What's he going to do in the last corner? As he runs a little bit wide, but will that compromise his time? No, he goes up into P9. What a lap. Mike also wasn't able to improve on his time. Still in 10th place. What a lap from Mike. I think Mike has always been... Oh, as we see Heinrich spin. The fellow South African spinning right in front of us on stream. I have to say, this man has been working hard, but sometimes these mistakes do get you down. I hope that doesn't break him before the race. Mighty, I think, has already done his lap. He might be coming into the pits. As he's a 10th up on his time. 10th slower, actually. I haven't even seen Marco on the stream yet. This is his first time on stream here with myself. Marco, which was had a quite disappointing season last season. will be looking to impress and get some better results this season in Tier 3. 46.6, which I think he might be on for a top 15 at the moment. If he can pick up these final 2 corners, it's looking like it might even be a bit lower down in the pecking order as he goes 16th. I have to say, both Red Bull drivers are really struggling at the moment. We have the Williams of Abmo. I had some great fights with him. He's a great wheel-to-wheel driver. And you can really trust this guy to look after you if he is on your inside or outside, whichever. Very clean driver. As we see one of the... No, Mike is coming in. I don't think he will be able to put on another lap with that amount of ERS on. Come on, Mike. We need points from you this season. At least 20 points this season. I want a race win. As we see the top 2 coming out for their laps. Atmo's charging up again, which does indicate that he's going to go for another lap here. And he's actually backing out. He's going into the pits. He's like, I've got P6. I'm happy with it. Nothing else I need. As O'Leary going into the 3rd corner. And the ERS is on. I'm wondering if he might be doing 2 warm-up laps again. So, one thing I have to say about O'Leary is that last season he finished, I believe it was P6 in the championship, if I just can get my notes here. So he finished P7 in the championship with 71 points. Yet he didn't score a single podium, which is actually quite astonishing because the guy after him that also didn't score a podium only placed in P12 with 41 points, which was Luke. Just shows you the consistency of O'Leary. He can make points stick for a team. Is O'Leary on a lap? I believe he is, but we want to look at the top 2 as Sven is starting his lap, but Igor is further into his lap. Let's see what Igor can do, as he isn't using all the track in turn 4. Running down to turn 5 and turn 6, the left-hander going into turn 7. And he's 300s up. And he loses the rear end. And that's it for Igor. I don't think he'll be able to get pole right now, as Sven is really basically he's got pole in the bag, unless the Ferrari of Nivi isn't improving. Is Luke? No, he's not improving at the moment, but will he go for another lap? I think he might be going for another lap at the moment. And he is done. What is Sven able to do? Is Sven able to improve on his time? It looks like he's recharging his battery. Oswaldo. What a jump from Oswaldo. See, Oswaldo, to me, is such a good driver. He's got so much pace, but he just seems to always mess up his own qualifying and races. Oh, what a qualifying session. And it's so fun to be on the commentary side of it, as in first place we've got Sven, a man that I didn't think would be able to take pole. I had him in my top 5, but not on pole position. Second place we've got Igor. Third place Nivi, a guy that's got great race pace, someone to look out for. Fourth we've got Luke. Fifth we've got O'Leary. Sixth we've got Boomer. Seventh, what a lap from Boomer, I have to say, jumping up in front of Abmo in 7th in the Williams. 8th is the Alfa Romeo of Will. 9th is the Haas of Twenech or Twenich, whichever one you prefer. We've got 10th the Red Bull of Oswaldo. 11th, Tichy in his Aston Martin. 12, Mike. I've really got to hand it to Mike. What a lap. I think he might be able to do something. 13th, we've got Major. 14th, Nuve. 15th, Heinrich or Smith F1. 16th, Arctic School. 17, Titleist, Jaden. 18, Markham. And 19th, we've got Mighty Chump and Wicked Prophet rounding up the end of the grid. I think this is going to be interesting. I think this is going to be a great race. What a qualifying. So I haven't even looked at the comments yet, and I do apologize for that. Hello, Boomer. Yeah, I have to say, great qualifying. P6. I hope you can carry it into the race. Well, I believe you will. And enjoy it. And now, as we stand on the grid, this might just get a little bit tasty into turn 1. It's a short run to turn 1. And we've got the biggest elevation change running into turn 3. And a great overtaking maneuver can happen into turn 3. Will it be a switchback? Will it be an outbraking maneuver? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. As it's 1. And we start with the formation lap. Now, looking at the formation lap, it's normally under conditions like this where you don't really focus on the start too much. You just try and get your tires up to temperature. You try and see what's going on around you, see who's on what tires, stuff like that. We are trying to get tire data here. Everyone's starting on the mediums except for Titleist, Jaden. That is actually quite an interesting strategy choice, starting on the softs. But if you can get onto the softs and you can get onto the hard tires faster, you will be able to get a undercut on the cars in front of you. The undercut is quite strong here, as you're looking at around 2 seconds a lap, which does sound crazy for such a short track. But normally, if you pit around lap 16, you are already 2 seconds slower than what you normally would be. So, what will it be? Who will win the race today? It's 36 laps. As we can see, the possible race strategies that we have here. Will it be the pure pace of Igor and Nivi? Will it be the consistency of Valeri? Or will it be one of the underdogs like Heinrich or Major? Well, we'll just have to wait and see as everyone gets to round off the grid. The grid is in a solid Alpha Tauri sandwich. And it's lights out and away we go as we run down to turn 1. And it's a great start from Sven. He's got it covered into turn 1. Nivi going a little bit wide. As we see the 2 horse drivers battling it out. It's a big fight down into the midfield as we see the Alfa Romeo, the Williams, the McLaren all going side by side. And that's a big dive bomb from the Williams. What the hell? And as we see contact between That's Arctic, Tideless, Wicked, as we see contact from them. Now, looking at the front of the field, Nivi looked like he was going to go for it. Not doing for it there. Now, Abmo versus Tichy. Tichy is really having a good run on him at the moment. As we see the two McLarens going close to it, getting close to each other once again. As we see Abmo going into the pits, he might have front wing damage. The two McLarens getting close to each other. Don't fight into turn one. Don't take out your own teammate. That's the last thing we want at the moment. Tichy running the front battle at the moment. And Oswaldo is really going to go for it into turn three. Oswaldo and Tichy going side by side as they did so often last season. As Boomer is going on the inside at the moment. What a move from Boomer. Is Mark able to follow him through? Mark is just going to stay behind at the moment as Oswaldo is defending from Boomer at the moment. And Oswaldo makes a mistake, and that's another pass for Boomer. Can he hang it around the outside on the dirty line? No, he's going to wait for it a little bit, and he's squeezing the throttle as Tichy comes into his inside. And Tichy made the move. What a move from Tichy. What a move. Oh my gosh, these first few laps are insane with the racing. Mike is closing up to Boomer. As these guys are fighting it out. Major also looking at it. Now looking to the front as we have DRS. Igor almost running into the back of Nivi as Nivi got past Igor. As we missed that overtake. As Nivi is actually having a look at Swen. Nivi's battery is getting depleted. I think he might have to look at getting that battery sorted out. Tichy and Boomer. It was a three-wide moment between them. Oswaldo. What is Mark doing here? Is Mark on the inside, and it's contact between himself and Oswaldo as Mark is around. Oh no. The guy wanted to get points so badly. As Tichy is looking in front of him at Boomer. What a run from Tichy, the Aston Martin, going into the first corner. Who will be able to... Will Boomer be able to defend? Will Tichy take the move into turn 3? As we see Swen and Nivi going in. Nivi not giving Swen any room. And Igor takes both of them out at the exit of turn 3. I think the stewards might be looking at that one. As Major and Arctic are really fighting for it for P12. Is Arctic going to send it to the inside? Of course he is. Is he going to make the move stick? And Major going for the cutback, the switchback. Is it going to work? Arctic has the move covered off. Tichy still behind Boomer at the moment. These guys really need to start reeling in P7 if they want to have any hopes of breaking away from the guys behind. As we see Will at the back of this DRS train. With the two Haas drivers leading it at the moment, I think Haas might be a team to look out for, as they might be a force to reckon with this season. As the two Haas drivers are really getting close to each other. They're trying to defend from the Williams. O'Leary going for it. Come on, O'Leary. And he can't make the move at the moment. As we see at the front, Igor's really pressing Nivi as Nivi got back past again. The Ferrari drivers really giving it everything. We see Oswaldo going for Tichy again, but nothing doing there. He has to tuck in behind and wait for the move to come to him. Don't be impatient, as that will only cause damage and contact at the end of the day. Sven is really on the tail of Igor at the moment. This is a great three-way fight for the lead. So you see Sven really slowly catching up to Igor. Igor is going to have to make a move into turn 4 and maybe get himself and Sven and Nivi to fight if he wants to really put some dominance into this race. But the same can be said for any one of these three drivers. As we see, O'Leary is really close to the Haas at the moment, but nothing at the moment. Haas is really defending well, helping each other out, getting that DRS train going, protecting themselves, and it's the one Haas driver making a mistake. Is O'Leary going to try and go for it into the final 2 corners? I doubt it. I think we can really say we've settled down a little bit, which is helping me with my voice, as it's really struggling at the moment. Tichy, will he get a good run out of the final corner on Boomer? Boomer is really defending well from Tichy at the moment. I think it might be downforce dependent, but it might also be that Boomer is getting the right amount of grip out of each corner, out of the critical zones, and it's a move into turn 3. What will Boomer do? Boomer is on the outside as Tichy is just left him enough space. As we see Igor and Nivi also going for it. Tichy and Boomer are really going for it at the moment. As we see Boomer just going for the switchback. Oh, and he almost loses it. And Boomer just tucks in. And he's going to wait, and he'll have to play the patient game if he wants anything. As there's a spin from the Alfa Romeo, and that's not something you want as a driver that is looking towards the back of the points and now spinning as well. Mighty Chump looking at Mike, and Mike is looking at Markham. This is also a fight for P14 at the moment. Come on, let's see what these drivers can do. As we see O'Leary and Will going at it at the top there. What will the McLaren of Mike be able to do? As we see Tichy and Boomer at the moment, as these guys are really battling for P8. They want all the points possible in this race. As Boomer is past Tichy. As we move back to Mike. Mike is really struggling to get past Markham at the moment. He needs to find a way into turn 3, a heavy braking zone, to get that move done. Wicket looking at the back of Tichy. This is a big battle growing for 8th, as there's 4 cars involved at the moment. Let's look at the front again as we see Sven getting a good run on Nivi at the exit of turn 1. Will he make a move into turn 3? As he just hangs back a little bit, as he goes a little bit wide, but going for that switchback, better grip. He's gaining on Nivi, but nothing doing. So we see O'Leary going for it, but the Alfa Romeo is really defending. These guys need to be careful. They need to maybe get an undercut on these Haas drivers. If they pit, they can get an undercut on at least one of them. You see Wicket looking at the back of Osvaldo. The 2 Red Bull company teams are really going at it. And to everyone who is watching, who do you think is gonna take the the championship this season, if just going by what we're seeing here at the moment. As we see Sven going for the move on Nivi, and he makes the move into P2. The AlphaTauri driver is now looking at the back of that Alpine and must be thinking, I started on pole, I'm the fastest driver, I have to win this race. Boomer looking at the back of the Aston Martin again, just braking a little bit earlier. I think he might be saving some ERS if we can just get that telemetry in. Boomer is got much more energy than Tichi, and that will be a concern for the Aston Martin driver. As we see this battle for P4 really heating up. Sven is looking to make a move on Igor. He's using the ERS, but not much. I think he might be sitting behind again. As he's going on the outside, and Igor's really going to have to squeeze him out if he wants to keep this position. And Sven has got the traction. These guys are really fighting for it. Into turn 4. Will Igor? No, he won't go for the move, as he's just being patient. What can Tichy do? On Boomer, going into turn 4, and he goes on the inside. Will he be able to squeeze out Boomer? And he does squeeze him out. That will give Boomer the switch back. And Boomer is going for it as Igor gets a 3-second penalty. That's going to really damage his hopes of winning this race. As Nivi is going for it. He's on the back of Igor. What happened? Did he lose the rear end? What? If you look back, as O'Leary and Will is going for it into turn 1. It's not the place you want to be making an overtake on the inside. Boomer getting a run. As we see the front guys really battling it out. But now we turn our focus to Boomer and Tichy again. And Boomer has already passed before they get into the braking zone. So we see Mighty Champ and Heinrich, as Mighty Champ is actually pitting as the first Red Bull to pit this race. Atmos really having a horrid race in last place in that Williams. Navi looking at Igor. He's got so much ERS left. He can use it just to get past Igor and get into DRS range of Sven. They can't afford Sven to get away from them. It will just... Navi can't stay behind Igor much too longer. He needs to make this move at the very least at the end of this lap so that he can go after Sven. So we see the two Haas drivers still just helping each other out here, defending from the guys behind, and it's working. And nothing. Will O'Leary look for a move? No, he won't. Tichy is just sitting behind Boomer, just recharging a little bit of ERS as he was on like 9% early on. Boomer is actually using some ERS, but also being smart to not use everything. As we see Mike really close to Markham. Or Marco, actually. Marco Magnifico. As we see Mike really going for it. Not using all the track. I think he can squeeze out another 10th. And he's just trying to scare Marco at the moment. As we go into the final two corners again. That's very wide from Mike. I think a little bit too wide. Just sit behind Mark. It's not the time to make the move into turn 1 as he goes for it into turn 1. And they still got through without anything going on. How did they do it? You can't make a move into turn 1 and expect to be fine after that. As they go into turn 3, Mark going for it. Mark is really squeezing Marco. Just leaving him enough room. As Mark's got the DRS again. Will Mark go for it into turn 4? He just has to break that a little bit later. Get onto throttle a little bit sooner. Will Mark be able to do it? It doesn't look like it, as Marco has the inside for the next corner. And Mark is trying to hang it around the outside. And he's going for it. And Mark just couldn't pull it off. What defense from Marco, just giving him enough space. As we see Nivi going for Igor again. As we exit turn 3. Will and O'Leary going side by side at the exit of turn 3. These guys really need to find a way past the Haas cars. They've got much more pace, I think, in that locker. Especially Will the Game and O'Leary. I think they've got enough pace to beat these Haas drivers. But they really need to find a way past soon. We see Mike and Magnifico going side by side again, and Mike's got DRS once again going into turn 4. Will the McLaren get the position? And he's going for it. He needs to squeeze him out a little bit. As he squeezes him, and he gets the run into the next corner, but Marco's still there. Marco's got that inside line. He's got the cleaner line. He's got the grip. And Mike's got it. Mike's into P13. What a move from Mike. As we see Oswaldo and Tichy going for P8, and Boomer having pitted already, going onto the hard tires. He will be undercutting both of these guys and pulling away as we see Oswaldo going for the move into turn 3. The Aston Martin of Tichy is smart, and it was wide from Oswaldo. Tichy was wise to it, had his normal braking marker, went for the normal braking marker, just got the cut back, and he is still in P8 defending from Oswaldo. As Mike and Marco going for it again into turn 3. As I think this time Marco doesn't have DRS, Mike does. The McLaren and the Ferrari driver, it's almost like we moved back to 1998. This is really going for it. So we see O'Leary staying out as Will the Game goes into the pits. He knows he can get that undercut on the guys in front of him. Maybe try and get in front of both Haas cars. I think that would be important. Looks like it was a great stop. So you see Boomer right behind Marco. He needs to get this move done immediately. Otherwise, this will only cost him positions instead of gain him any positions in front. And he goes for it. Will Mark give him space? Mark, don't do it to your teammate. Well done, Mark. But that does leave Mark vulnerable to Marco. As Marco has the DRS. And Mark just sitting behind. Both of them will have DRS. Mark just has to be patient. I think Mark will pit this lap. I think everyone out will pit this lap. As we see Nivi going into the pit. Sven is still staying out. I think Sven might be going for a soft at the end. That will be a bold strategy choice, but it's not impossible. As we see both Haas drivers going for it, as we see one Haas driver trying to prevent the undercut from the likes of just looking at it. They want to prevent that Will does pass them, and Will is past them. That is very important for Will, but this also means he's got less tire life to the end. He just needs to manage those tires for the first few laps before he really goes for it. Nivi and Igor, they still have a chance to undercut Sven. It will be hard as Sven was building a gap. Just being patient. Just run the tires. You guys know you need to catch him. You know that fighting will only cause damage in your race time. Sven's got a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. That will also damage his hopes. That means Nivi's got a net P1 at the moment. Will Nivi be able to get past Igor? He knows it's so important. Will the game with a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits? The other harsh driver also pitting. This will be damaging. He gets out just in front of O'Leary. O'Leary had a very bad outlap. This will be important for him to try and catch up with both harsh cars still in front of him. We see Tichy and Oswaldo going for it into turn 3. The Aston Martin and Red Bull really close together this race. They are still fighting for that P8 with Boomer having lost out, being in traffic. Oh, I actually need to give my voice some breathing time. I'm gaining so much respect for the commentators of ALR, having to do this every week. As we see a 3-second penalty for Atmo. If it hasn't been extremely bad already, it's just getting worse and worse. As we see Nivi get past Igor. Ferrari getting past the Alpine driver. Now Nivi just needs to stay within that 5 seconds. He knows Sven has a 5-second penalty. Just keep calm. As we see Oswaldo and Tichy going for it. And Boomer makes the move. Boomer, the McLaren, makes the move. It's him and Tichy going into turn 4. And Boomer squeezing Tichy out a little bit as Oswaldo is going for the move on the Aston Martin driver. This is really important for these guys. They don't want to leave anything on the table. What a lap from Nivi, as he is really trying to go after Sven. He wants to win this race. He mustn't use up all his ERS. He needs to work on his race pace. He needs to catch up without using too much ERS. As we look at the battle for P8 once again, as we see Oswaldo looking at the Aston Martin once again, as they go into turn 3. Who's later on the brakes? It looks like it's Stitch who's later on the brakes. He squeezes Oswaldo, but Oswaldo isn't going to back out. He's going to run it to turn 4. And Oswaldo is passed before they get to turn 4. I think Tichy is, yes, he's low on ERS, as Oswaldo has got so much ERS left in his storage just to make a move, just to defend when he needs to. The field is spreading out a little bit. These 3 cars are best battle. Oswaldo, can he get a good run? That was a bad run for Boomer, climbing onto the sausage curb on the exit. That will invite Oswaldo closer into turn 3. And he goes for it into turn 3. He's late on the brakes. But Boomer is really hanging on. He's got the better traction. Going for the next corner into turn 4. Oswaldo's got the DRS. Can he make the move? And he's going to have to go for the switchback. Is he going to be able to pull it off? And he's going for it. He's not going to leave it just there. And he has to tuck in and just wait. Be patient. It will come your way. As we see Mike get another 3-second penalty. Now Tichy looking at the back of Oswaldo. These guys are really fighting. Like I've said before, they're really fighting for P8. It's 4 points. That 4 points can go a long way over the course of the season. Tichy not having a good run. Oswaldo having a great run on Boomer. And Boomer is just giving him the racing line, as it would be the smarter choice to just run with him as Boomer runs into the back of Oswaldo. Does he have damage? Doesn't look like it. Tichy is a little bit too far back. As Boomer going for the outside into turn 6. What will Boomer be able to do? As he just gets wide onto those marbles. And it just sends him wide. Boomer still looks to be fine. Doesn't look like he has any damage. As the two Haas drivers are really going for it against Will. As they've passed him. Will had a 1.5 second lead over the Haas drivers. And now he's behind them. Well, at least one of them. He really needs to start defending. As we see a move into turn 3. Just squeezing him out a little bit. Will doesn't get the traction. That's going to leave him behind the Haas drivers as he's going to try and go for it into turn 4. But he just has to sit behind and be patient. It will come to him. Boomer gets past Oswaldo. Once again, he's defending for his life. Oswaldo's racing for his life for this P8. As Oswaldo goes into turn 4, he's not giving Boomer all the space possible. He's just giving him enough. Just the car's width. That's all you need. As we see Boomer just squeezing Oswaldo out a bit. Tichy just looking at Oswaldo. Being patient. He wants these guys to make a mistake. And he wants to make a move. As we see Oswaldo and Boomer going for it into turn 9. That's some brave stuff. This pack is really going to damage my voice for tomorrow. As we see Tichy going for it on Oswaldo as he just has to back out. That's not going to go well for him as he might end up spinning. Oswaldo going for Boomer again into turn 3. These guys are really not giving any space for one another. They going for it. As we see Oswaldo and Boomer going for it again. This is going to be a fight till the end. I think this is going to start inviting Wicked into the fight. This might as well just invite another driver into the fight. As we see Wicked just in the background there. And Boomer gets a 3-second penalty. No! It's not going to be good for his hopes of getting P8 or even scoring points at this rate. As he goes for it on Oswaldo. Oswaldo and Boomer just battling it out. It's gloves off at this moment in time. They're not going to give each other any room. I think from here on out, they just want to see who can win the race. Well, score P8. Sorry for my mistake. As we see both Haas cars just keeping away from Will at the moment. Will is really struggling. He needs to look out. Needs to watch out for O'Leary just sitting behind them. O'Leary is being patient. His ERS is done. But he's a quick driver coming to the end stages of a race. He's always not good on his tires. As we see Boomer getting past Oswaldo. What a move into turn 1. That will compromise Oswaldo for the run down to turn 3. And this might invite Tichy into the party again. As we see Tichy just staying behind. Oswaldo getting a good run. And Mike gets another 3-second penalty. He started so well. He had the pace of Boomer, staying directly behind him, running in his DRS. And one mistake has cost him so many positions. As we see Will get another penalty. Will is in big trouble that if he keeps doing this, that O'Leary can fall back a little bit. Just drive his own race, and O'Leary is going to get into DRS range. Mercedes driver just being patient, right? Driving his own race, looking after the tires, and it's going to come into play later on. It's really going to help him at the end stages of this race. And what's surprising is we haven't even had a safety car within this race. So we see Boomer getting past Oswaldo again, and that's going to invite Tichy. Is Tichy going to do something to get past Oswaldo? He's going for it as they give each other no space. Tichy just got on the gravel a little bit. He has to be patient. As he goes into turn 6, and he just is a little bit too far back to make a move, a half-hearted move. As these guys fight, this might help Boomer just to pull away a little bit. Tichy going for it into turn 9, and Tichy going for the move, just couldn't make it stick, has to sit behind, and these guys are really, really pushing each other. The two Haas drivers really getting impatient with each other. They want to see who can earn P4. They don't have any threats from behind. They can fight till the end. We see O'Leary catching Wool. And we see Boomer and Oswaldo still fighting for it. As Oswaldo goes to the inside, what will Boomer be able to do? He goes to the outside and he stays on the outside. Will it be the inside for the next corner? No, it's not. Tichy is coming for the move. Will Tichy be able to keep it around the outside? And Tichy is past Boomer. Boomer just lost 2 positions in as many corners. As we see, Swen is also pulling away, got that 5-second gap to protect himself on that 5-second penalty. Now Tichy looking at Oswaldo into the first corner, but Boomer goes for it. Boomer goes for a move on Tichy into the first corner. As the McLaren is really not satisfied with his race so far, I can believe. And Oswaldo really slow into turn 3, just keeping both of them up a little bit, just to give him that breathing space. As Mike got past Noof, I wish I could have seen the move. We have to revert back to Tichy. Oswaldo going side by side, going into turn 6 once again. And Boomer just sitting back, just keeping an eye on the guys in front. He has to be patient. Tichy. Will Tichy go for a move into turn 9? He won't. He's going to sit back, get DRS, and make a move into turn 1 or turn 3. Tichy's got the DRS open. He's going for a move into turn 1. Will it work with him and Oswaldo into turn 1? And he goes for it. He doesn't give Oswaldo any room as Oswaldo gets on the sausage curb. Boomer goes for it. He's on the inside. They go for it into turn 3. Will Boomer be able to brake later? Will he make the move? He makes the move on the inside into turn 3 as the exit. He doesn't have DRS as Tichy doesn't have DRS as Boomer does, and Boomer has passed him. What a move from Boomer. And Oswaldo and Tichy is going side by side again into turn 6. This looks like a proper hotspot for these guys to go side by side. As we see Abmo really showing his pace, even though he's not having the best of races. As we see the two Haas drivers going for it into turn 3. Just sitting behind once again. Luke needs to be patient. He's got enough ERS he needs to recharge a little bit of ERS actually, just to get on level playing field with his teammate. As we see, O'Leary has already gotten past Will. O'Leary is really playing the patient game. Gonna get another P6. Solid result if he can keep it on the track. Now Tichy and Oswaldo sitting behind Boomer. Tichy is pulling away a bit from Oswaldo. This might be Oswaldo's tires going off a little bit from all the racing. Will any of them be able to do something, give us a good race to the line? So we've only got 3 laps left. Igor at the back of Navi, that he knows it's futile. He can't pass Navi. It won't give him the result with that 3-second penalty. And now Tichy on the back of Boomer. It might be a move into turn 1. No, he's going to wait. He's going to be patient. He's going to make the move into turn 3. He doesn't get the best of runs, but he's got DRS. It's very strong at this track. He's going to the outside as he breaks a little bit earlier than Boomer, just to get that DRS, as Oswaldo's going for it on the inside. Nothing doing. Boomer really being patient, just driving his own race. He knows with the 3-second penalty, he will drop to P10. As Marco gets another 3-second penalty. These guys are really fighting for it. They're squeezing the last bit of life out of these tires now. These tires will be completely done at this stage of the race. I think Wicked Prophet, also another 3-second penalty. These tires are really starting to struggle. The tire wear is so high for these tires. As Tichy gets a great run on Boomer. Oswaldo is also not going to sit behind. He's going to make a move into turn 3 as well, as Oswaldo goes late on the brakes. And Boomer just being patient, going for the cutback. It's 3 wide. Boomer played both of them. Igor getting another 3-second penalty. As we see Tichy sitting at the back of Oswaldo, looking at that diffuser. Just having a sniff of that gearbox. This is really a great race. No safety cars. Every driver here has been so clean. It's actually quite astonishing to see how clean Tier 3 is compared to Tier 2. They've done such a great job racing, giving that wheel to wheel tonight. As we see Mighty and Heinrich going for it in P15 and P14. Swaldo looking at it, and Tichy goes for a late braking move into turn 3. Can he get the traction on the exit? No, he can't. He has to sit behind and just wait a little bit. Will Tichy? No, he won't go for the move into turn 4. This is the final lap as we as we move on to the final lap, we see Sven is still leading. He's got almost a 7-second advantage, and that will protect him with his 5-second penalty. As we see, Heinrich got past Major, and Heinrich going wide into turn 3, struggling to get the power down. As we see Major coming back at him. Can Major make a move? He's just going to sit behind. Now Heinrich getting P13 as he did for the majority of his season last season. Look, Tichy, Oswaldo, what will they be able to do? But first, let's cut to Sven as he's going to come around the final 2 corners. What a dominant race from the Alpha Tauri driver. And he's going to round the final corner and he's going to win the Austrian Grand Prix. What a race from Sven the man. Nivi coming to take 2nd place. What a race from him. Igor in P3 as the 2 Haas drivers are going for it into the final 2 corners, but they can't do anything. As we see the 2 Haas drivers coming home in P4 and 5. What a result for them. O'Leary coming in 5th with one of the Haas drivers having a penalty. Will coming in 7th. Boomer is going to come home. I think it will drop to P9 as Tichy also has a penalty. Boomer P9. Oswaldo takes P8. What a race from all 3 of them. Tichy P10. Wicked Prophet coming home in P11. Arctic School having a quiet race, and I think he might have run out of fuel. Arctic has run out of fuel. He might still lose a position. No, he won't lose a position, as everyone behind him has been lapped. Arctic School has run out of fuel with Major in P13 and Heinrich in P14. Was such a great race for Tier 3. Thank you for the brilliant racing, I have to say. And yeah, I hope now my voice can rest a little bit. As we look at the results again, it's Swin, Nivi, Igor rounding out the podium. Luke in 4th. O'Leary in 5th, just being patient as always and consistent. Twenech in P6. Will the game in 7th. 8th is Oswaldo. 9th is Boomer. Tichy, Wicked Prophet, Arctic School, Major XTC. Heinrich, Mighty Champ, Noof Squid, Marco, Abmo, Mike finishing in last place with 21 seconds worth of penalties. Excuse me, Mike. We need to talk about this. And our only retirement of the race, tireless Jaden, with, I believe, he would be a little bit disappointed, but I can't wait to see him race next time. Thank you very much, everyone, and I hope it's not our last time together. That was a great race. Thank you, Tier 3. I really appreciate it. Peace.